about Brexit, shall we? It's time for the big finish. Let's hear from financial expert Jamesina Doble, who's with us in studio, and also on the line Anthony Soares, who's from the Centre for Cross-Border Studies in Armagh. Jamesina, what have you made of what you've heard over the last 18 hours or so?
Well, I think for us, the biggest risk over the last 5 years to financial markets has really been uncertainty around political and central bank policy. So the speech yesterday really gave us some clarity as to where Theresa May is going to start her negotiations.
Is clarity the same as reassurance?
Not necessarily, but financial markets don't tend to need over reassurance. They don't tend to, the detail of the deal doesn't have the same amount of impact as just the intent that is going to be put forward. So for us, since June, we've had this hanging over financial markets, and that's really played out through the currency weakness.
Do you think there's a lot of wishful thinking in what she said?
I think, like any negotiation, you start off with your wish list, and then you go from there. Whether she can deliver it or not is open to debate. But for financial markets, that's really given us a much greater degree of certainty now.
Anthony, I don't think we're any closer to answering one question that's been asked from the very outset as to what would a border look like. And Amber Rudd, the British Home Secretary, was asked that yesterday, and she was on BBC Radio 5 Live. I think her response was, "That's a very good question."
Yes, it's a question that we've been posing for quite some time, and after the Prime Minister's speech yesterday, sorting out the borders looks as if it's going to be even more difficult with this hard or clean Brexit, whichever way you want to term it. But really, the conclusion that we can arrive at from where we are at the moment is there will have to be some controls around the border, not necessarily at the border.
And the people who, obviously those who trade across the border, but we haven't really spoken this morning about people who maybe live in the south and work in the north and vice versa. They are probably sitting this morning absolutely none the wiser.
Yeah, our estimates are that there are between 35 and 40,000 people who commute daily to crossing the border to work, and those people, I can tell you that immediately after the referendum results, so when they woke up on the 24th of June, we immediately had a 100% rise in terms of cross-border workers contacting us who were already highly worried about what was going to happen in terms of their situation. And I don't think after yesterday's speech we really are any closer to reassuring them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to give Jamesina one last question. Maybe with 30 seconds left. I know it's difficult to do it in that period of time, but this idea of the greatest possible access to the single market without being part of it, how realistically achievable is that?
Well, other industries trade outside the EU, and there's no reason to think that we couldn't have negotiated deals within the EU and outside it for us. She's already inferred that some industries could be exempt, and she's already inferred that she would make an appropriate contribution as well to the EU, probably to offset some of that. So there's no reason to think that at this stage, as you enter negotiation, that couldn't be achieved.
Okay, well, plenty more Brexit chat to come. We didn't have time for Bar with the weather, but it was basically